Welcome back, everybody, to episode 6 of the YoungPro podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Dustin Kupka.
It's 75 degrees, forecast is cloudy with 80% chance of rain.
And today we're going to be going over our story. We've been fortunate enough to interview some amazing guests, but we wanted to take some time to kind of jump into our behind the scenes. And so, Dustin, how's your week been so far?
Been amazing. Thanks for joining me here today, Ethan.
Yeah, I appreciate you meeting me in my dining room.
Right. This is it's actually good to be back.
Yes, it is.
We've had a couple weeks here that we weren't doing this, and so yeah, man, it's good to be back. It's just got done with the 4th of July.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I went up to South Dakota to see my business partners, Ashley and Janelle, which you've met, my Kansas City girls.
Yeah.
Because we are closing a deal in Kansas City. So I went up to I actually got to meet both their families. And that was like a little celebration because they recently had their wedding in Mexico. So a lot of their family members weren't able to go.
South Dakota?
South Dakota. Yeah, that's where Janelle's
That's
from.
where she's from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What did you and your family do?
We just kind of we were mainly here in the Des Moines area. Went to my brother has a lake up north.
Jason?
Yeah, Jason has a cabin on a lake, and so we went up there and tubed and had a blast.
That's awesome.
Jet skiing with my
boy.
boy.
Yeah. That's cool.
My 11-year-old, the first time he went jet skiing, and of course, you know, once he started going, he's just, yeah, go faster. We were up to 42 miles per hour on this thing.
Before he told you to slow down?
No, he was like, keep going. I'm like, nah, dude, we're good, you know. A little choppy out here in the waves, but yeah, went fishing, boating. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got some sun, and then we usually every year we have about 60 people at our house on 4th of July. So we have, our backyard has you've seen our backyard.
Yeah.
Has the soccer field, baseball fields, and they shoot fireworks back there. So everyone hangs out.
Is this mostly friends and family or a lot of business?
It's mainly a bunch of the kids I coach.
Okay.
Basketball and all their parents, their families, and then it's the same. It's our older sons.
Friends. That's pretty cool.
And we get a dunk tank and.
Did you sit up there?
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay.
But it's better to dunk your own kids.
That's a way better.
Get up there.
That's
so
pretty cool.
especially my 7-year-old daughter, she's just like, she gets up there, she has goggles on, and she's just sitting there. I'm inside the tank with her, but she's just scared, and then when she falls into the tank, it's 4 feet, whatever, water. So then there's a little hole, like a little thing to see in there.
You can see. Yeah.
So she gets down there and waves to everybody. I think that's the most favorite part of it.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, man, it's good to celebrate the independence, man. Right?
Yeah, it is.
July and the country. So yeah, I love seeing the flags, and we have our street. With our town, you just kind of rent. I don't know, it's like $100 a year or whatever, but the whole city, they go around, this group of people go around and they put out American flags. So they basically put a line on the curb, and so they know every time that it's already ready to go. It's already built into the ground. They dig it and a little stand kind of a thing. So they just go around and drop these flags. Well, on our street, there's probably 15 flags.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right up and down. And so it's just super patriotic and just cool to be a part of that. And I don't have to think about it. And it's always done. And, And the whole town does it. So.
And how long have you had your house? Have you been for years?
We moved out there in 2016.
Okay.
So we've been there, about 6 years now, 5 years.
That was my first year. I bought my first rental property was in 2016.
2016.
Yeah. Taking it back.
That's crazy.
When did you get started in real estate? Well, I guess we're on that topic today.
Yeah, man. We got started in 2016, really.
Okay, so then the lead up, and I know you're you're running a restaurant, Ruby's or something.
Yep. So we, just kind of, I guess we'll just dive right into it. But you always kind of have this feeling of growing up and trying to figure out what in the world you're going to do with your life, right? And so, I've always, luckily for myself, I grew up in a family where dad was a contractor, owned his own construction company. Did really well with that, very well with that. And then my mom was a hairdresser, which she owned her own company. And so my mom actually this year is celebrating like 52 years of cutting hair.
Wow.
And she just turned 70, and she's just like, she danced circles around 50-year-olds. It's the coolest thing ever. But so she's just has always known, I've always been raised in a family of just entrepreneurs. Just people always, going out there and making things happen for themselves and for their family. And so, yeah, man. So we, I kind of grew up with that. And so, and we had a couple, my dad had a rental property. It was like an acreage, 10 acres in one of the towns that we lived by in Tama. And so I saw my dad do that, and, just really kind of thought the whole, real estate was always intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Always thought that this is something I wanted to do. And so even when I got married to my wife, Allison,
but she was your employee, right?
She wasn't one of my employees, there's a great story. And how you hire somebody, when they walk in, you're like, you're hired. Well, I shouldn't do that. But yeah, man, it was, when we were first getting started with this and dating and stuff and getting, in the process of getting married, that was one of the things I wanted to do. I'm like, real estate. I want to do something with
And what year was that?
So we just celebrated our 16th year of being married. So 2006 when we got married.
And this is even prior to that, you were telling her you wanted to get...
Yeah, this is when I was probably 25,
okay.
24, 25 when we started dating. And it was when all that was going down. And Allison was always on board with, she always thought my ideas were crazy, but she was, she understood, real estate's maybe a good place to play and do our thing. But it's, when you look at real estate, as we know a lot of people in real estate and just the industry itself, holy crap, right? What angle, where do you do, what do you want to do
strategy,
with
what
strategies, what things do you want to, what things you want to attack, there's 100 different things you can do in real estate. And so trying to figure that out, I think, has been a fun journey.
Did you, when you initially thought of what you wanted to do in real estate, is that what you're doing now?
I think it's the really just a passive, yes. I mean, to answer your question, yes. I mean, I think it's more tapping into the passive way of making money, and trying to tackle that and understand that. Now, we have done other things that I never thought was something I was going to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Tons of other stuff that we've done with flipping, to maybe doing the Airbnbs now, to buying apartment complex, doing things like this. I don't think I ever dreamt of that. I thought maybe 2 or 3 rental properties was a good,
was what you needed to be.
Was what I was, and now it's kind of evolved into something that's pretty bodacious.
Yeah. Well, how many units do you have now?
I was thinking, we had the 27, and then of course the one that we just purchased together, the 57 unit. Yeah. So 80 plus now, whatever that math is. But yeah, so we're still trying to get through that whole, like, dang, and the cool thing is, when we first got started, in 2016, our first lease was signed in February of 2018, and this is July 8th of 2022. So
wow, in 4 years.
4 years, we went from one lease being signed to 80 plus. Yeah,
80 plus.
What is that? What is 57 plus 20? We need some help on math here, people. 57. Was
84.
57, 84.
Yeah. I do math sometimes.
Job,
yeah, I got you.
I use technology.
Got you.
So yeah, 84 units now. So yeah, so it's bigger than we anticipated. But we felt like we've gone a pace that we feel comfortable with and understanding. So, but yeah, it's been a wild 4 years.
Yeah. So obviously, hindsight is 20/20, but I think a lot of people struggle with like, oh, I have so much going on, or kids, or wife, or blah blah blah. Why didn't you get into real estate sooner? And I assume that you wish you had, but why didn't you?
I think it's I think it's everyone's, it's what is that avenue? How do I get there? Can I do it? You know, is this right for me at that time? I don't have enough money, right? I don't have enough money to get into real estate, which is false, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm glad you brought that up.
But at the time, I didn't know, and I think it's just it's having that knowledge and that coaching, and I wasn't there yet, and I didn't have the people in my life to help me and encourage me and to direct me, and I didn't have the confidence in myself to be able to do it. And so I honestly, I think I took the other route, which was I got into restaurants and I ran restaurants for 17 years and, worked up the corporate ladder and was doing very well with that. But it got to a point where I was tired of asking for a raise because I was at that point, my family started to
grow.
I started to realize I wanted to have a wife and kids and I just knew that I knew there's something more that could provide for me and my family that I needed.
Yeah.
And then it finally got to a point where, this family and the restaurant people that own the restaurant and myself just kind of just realized it wasn't gonna work, and we just parted ways at the end of 2016. The good news though is
what made it so? Okay, go ahead. No, you finish.
Yeah, the cool thing is during that 2 years prior to that, how you just know in your gut, sometimes you just have this feeling of like, you just to the point where you just have to, the fear, there's that fear factor, like the fear of failing, the fear of just the unknown. Like you finally get to the point and you hit it you just hit it right on the head. Like, okay, here's a point where I'm going to either go this way or this way. And I think I got to a point where I was tired of the excuses that I created in my own life. I mean, that's honestly it was the fear and for me, that feeling, the fear is providing for my family. That is my motivation, is being able to be able to take care of my family. And that family being my whoever, my wife, my mom, my kids. Now it's my wife and my kids, my mom, my brothers. And it's like the fear of not being able to take care of them. Wow. It got to a point where I realized the restaurant was not going to provide me the security that I needed to do that. And that's when I got really aggressive in 2014, 2015.
With learning or just other sources of income? Because
learning.
You did Amway.
Yep, we did Amway we started our Amway business, when I was 23 and 25. My wife was 23, I was 25. So we got into the Amway Corporation, worked with a team here local in Des Moines, led by some incredible business owners, entrepreneurs, and they got me set up. I mean, they taught me, that's where I learned how to, just get into the books and reading and seeking, mentorship, because that's what I did with those guys. And a great friend of mine, business partner, does very well, Brent Harris. I mean, he's one of the most successful entrepreneurs I've ever met in my life. He has been, he coached me, in life, not only just in business with Amway, but in life on how to just win, to be a winner. And I think, literally sitting at his footsteps, his feet on a weekly basis, him learning, teaching me how to win, gave me the confidence to be able to, take that next step. And we still have an Amway business today, that's a great company, great organization. They do very well.
A lot of people think it's a scam.
Yeah, man, yeah. It's not. It's like a multi-billion dollar. People do the research, reputable, websites, and just learn about that company and the foundation and what the owners of that company, when they started it and why they started it. Amway, the American way.
Yeah.
Like that's where they got their name.
Yeah.
Because they really wanted to empower people to basically take control of their life. And that's really what it comes down to. They want to empower people to take care of your, to say, hey, I want to own my own business. I want to be my own entrepreneur. Here's products. Here's services. that I could go out into the marketplace and basically sell.
Yeah.
And we made great money with it.
Yeah.
And we actually still make money. We're not actively building it like we used to. But we have business all over. We have a huge team in St. Louis.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Incredible team
That's
down
so
there
cool.
of great people that are great human beings, and there's, of course, here in Des Moines, there's a great group of people. But I mean, the corporation, the guys that we work with, they have business. I think Brian has business in all 50, over 50 states.
That's
different countries. Like, you talk about massive influence, and that's really what those guys taught me, and I'm forever indebted to that. For them to and just have that leadership pour into me. And like I said before, it just really gave me the confidence to go. And that was 23rd, and I was 25. My wife's 23. We built that business for 10 plus years. And then, but through that, even when we were building that, we still felt this real estate.
Sweet pull.
We still felt like we really wanted to do this real estate thing. Mm-hmm. And so we just kept that hum in our inside was just like,
too strong.
Like, what's going on, and what, you need to do something. And finally, a couple doors opened up, and like I said, in 2014, 2015, to really make us feel like, you know what, we need to really pursue this. And we started, really reading, listening, signed up for that's a crazy story, but had the one, I think it was on Facebook. It was like, come down to Des Moines for a, whatever they call it. Informational
seminar. Yeah. Who was the company? Was it Rich Dad Poor Dad?
It was Fortune Builders.
It was Fortune Builders. Yeah, I did that one. Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the deal, and I gotta say something, because there are a lot of and I haven't really been involved with some shady stuff out there, but I mean, I know they're out there. Right?
Oh, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere, right? Yeah. You gotta be careful. But I will tell you, like, there are coaching and programs and like these seminars, conferences. And that's just like, like Amway, like all this. You know what? It's not a scam. Do your stinking homework, right? Yeah. Do your homework. Find out what exactly it is before you have an opinion. Mm-hmm. Those kind of people drive me crazy. But so the whole Fortune Builder, people like, I told people that I was going down this seminar in Des Moines, and they're like, oh, you're going to get taken advantage of. They're going to want your money. And I went, and it was free. And I'm like, okay, free's free.
Yeah.
I'm going to go check it out. Right?
Yeah.
I'm a big boy. I will be able to tell you, no, I'm not doing this. Right?
Yes.
You can all do
Facts.
your sales thing, but at the end of the day, someone always told me you got to protect your money. Mm-hmm. There's millions of companies, millions of people out there that want your money, mm-hmm. and you got to protect it, right? Yep. So I just, I'm going to protect my money by saying no. But if there's value,
that's
different. Then if you could bring me value to my life, my kids, my wife, let's talk.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
So we go down this seminar, sit in this meeting, and there was probably like 12 people in there,
Okay. It's a little bit smaller than mine.
There's a little guy,
there's probably like 20 in mine. Yeah.
12 people, and most people sat in the back, I'm right in the front.
But me too. I sat right in the front.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. So sat in front. It was like 2 hours, but even the 2 hours, and they have a sales,
they do. They sold the weekend package when I was there for like
the whole
$400 or something.
Is to get you to that next step.
Yep.
Get it. Got it. Okay, I'm good with that, right? Because I'm not going to go to step 2 unless step 1
is good. Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah, it was.
Right? I'm like, man, there's something to these guys, and the guy that was doing I'm like, they know how to talk. They know how to just convey that value, mm-hmm. and like, you need this, And at the time, I did.
Yeah.
I needed something, right? So I'm like, I'll give it a shot. So they were like, you can
stand up right now and run to the back of the room and get it for half price.
I'm like, all right, like, today is $800, but it's $800, but today it's $199.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know, couple $100, maybe $100. And it was, but you could bring somebody.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good job, Fortune Builders. because they said you could bring someone. And at the time, I was like working with one of my business partners that I have now is my contractor. And his name's
it's Kurt.
Kurt Rutledge, yeah.
Really?
So
you'd already met Kurt
so
then?
I already met Kurt.
Wow.
Yeah, so I already met Kurt, and Kurt's awesome. I mean, the guy, he's like my MacGyver. I call him MacGyver.
He's in on our deal. Yep.
Yeah,
Kurt's amazing.
He's like a ninja when it comes to like building stuff. But so he basically, I was like, I thought, perfect. Me and Kurt will go down to St. Louis. We'll go down there. This weekend, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't work out for Kurt in the schedule, so I still went. Okay, it was like $100 for two people. I'm like, that's $50 a person. Like, that's a no-brainer. But he didn't go, so it's still $100 for me.
Yeah.
No big deal. So we go down there, and that weekend changed my life, man. And it was geared, like I said. I mean, I was in awe.
Yeah.
Sitting there listening to this guy talk about real estate, talk about financial independence, talk about really more than anything, just money, credit, and just how to make leverage money. And I was just in awe of how the presentation and just he had me, man. He had me like, this guy is very, very intelligent, and just everything he was saying brought value to my life. And I actually, the whole purpose of it was obviously to get you to
the next one, which is 10, 50 grand.
Yeah, it was like there was 10,000. I think there was
20,000. There was a couple different
20, 30, and 50. There's a 20 and a 30, and I think like a $50,000 program.
Yep.
And there was probably 300 or 400 people there. And out of those, by the end of the weekend, I ain't kidding you, probably 30 of them.
Yeah.
I would say were still there.
Yeah, because everyone, once they heard the sales pitch, they were gone.
But 30 people still there to take
learn,
to go and sign up and be part of this coaching. And I knew my wife would divorce me if I wrote a check for 20 grand.
Yeah. And
in fact, I called her and she's like, no. She's like, come home. Yeah. You said you were gonna come home. And you know what? I just saw a thing with Dave Ramsey, and he said on his podcast, hey, there's, some people hate Dave, some people love Dave. I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of neutral to what he says, because a lot of it, what he says is good, and a lot of it's kind of on the other side of the coin.
A lot of what he says is good.
There are some good things.
Some is better.
Here's one of the good things he said. He said, when it comes to a financial decision, what you're about ready to do here, wait 24 hours. Think about it. And I did. I thought about it, and that decision of thinking through something, it doesn't need to be a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I'm coaching you here, Ethan, on this 24 hours.
24 hours is a good one. I like that. I can work with 24 hours.
Sometimes my man Ethan here, you just kind of like rock and roll with things. But 24 hours, which I did, and I got home and I started thinking more about it, and I didn't sign up. And, and after 6 months, they kept calling me and pursuing. And I decided to go, and I signed up for a program they offered. And
I didn't know that you paid the $20K to Fortune Builders.
It was actually less.
Oh, I got the last one. I got a student package is what they called it for 9.
Yeah. I'm not sure but mine was over 10,000, but I don't know what it was called or whatever. Yeah. But in that, here's the thing. It gave me confirmation that I was ready.
Yes.
I was ready to invest $10,000 into my education, which people do this in college all the time, right?
All the time.
They drop $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and they don't even
a year.
They don't even think about it, right? But this all of a sudden, oh my gosh, right? But we dropped the 10K, and once again, it empowered us as our team to, dude, you're going to spend 10K, you better figure this out.
You better figure it out. Yeah, we'll give you the tools. We're not going to do it for you.
And they provided coaching calls, which
blueprints,
blueprints. They did. I mean, this isn't, we're not here to,
sell any courses,
courses. But I will tell you, just education, man, is really what I think is huge. And I think so many people, they just don't get educated. They don't take the time to really educate themselves. And it was a game changer. And once we got in there, I got like a QuickBooks. They taught some QuickBooks stuff with the financial part of it, like keeping your business organized.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was the kind of the tipping point. After that, we just started to buy houses, and we just started, buy properties.
To buy houses. It's that simple. We just started to buy houses.
There's a lot to it, but actually it was making the decision to say, I'm all in. I'm going to figure this out. And that's what we did. And we started to figure it out. And Kurt and I, we looked at houses for like 6 months, and we found one. And it was over in Altoona.
So you guys were house shopping for 6 months before your first one.
Yep. We probably, Kurt and I, and Kurt I met at a B&I group.
Yeah.
It's like a business networking institute, whatever.
Yeah.
And never met the dude. I drove about 35 miles to go to this meeting. Didn't know anybody besides my brother. My brother invited me to it. And Kurt got up, introduced himself, said he, contractor and small business contractor. And I got up and I was at the restaurants. I was still managing restaurants at this time. So I still had my full-time job. And so once I knew he was, he just started, he just got out of he was doing insurance for like 5 years, hated it, and basically got a divorce. He has a great story, but he got a divorce, went back to his passion, which is construction. He's like, you know what? I'm not doing this, chasing the dollar bill. I want to chase my passion,
I love,
which is kind of cool because now he's doing really well. Yeah. But so he started chasing his passion. 6 months later, he's at this B&I group. Within 6 months, I called him up, said, dude, let's go look at this. And here's what's cool. We went and looked at a lot of properties. And one of the properties, I was like, dude, this is awesome, man. Kurt, we need to buy this property. And granted, I did not really know Kurt.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't even know if he was good at his job. Like he could have sucked at being a contractor, right? But because I never saw any of his work.
Yeah.
But I didn't care because the conviction of his passion sold me. Like, I could tell he believed that what he did was the best. And he was so passionate about making people happy, and he's so prideful in his work. I just love that, And I was like, man, I could back that up. So we went and looked at properties. There's one, Ethan, I was like, I'll write the check. And Kurt's like, now keep in mind, here's what's cool. I could have wrote the check, and we could have bought the house, and I would have guaranteed him $20,000 or $30,000 in labor.
In labor, yeah.
Guarantee it. And here he has an opportunity. If I said yes, boom, he's set.
Yeah, he's got a gig.
And he said no. He's like, don't buy this house. And it was like a commercial property. And he's like, Dustin, here's why. And he walked me down it. He's like, this isn't going to work. It's just too much work, and the return's not going to be there. And he's like, it's too risky. Don't do it. And right then, when he said that, I was like, I can trust this guy, because at the point we weren't business partners.
You were financing it. He was going to do the work. Yep. He was going to get paid regardless.
He was going to make money regardless. So
he was looking out.
He was looking out for me, and he knew more than I did at that point when he still does with the construction part. But he said no. Let's wait. There'll be one, right? And so we looked at 4 or 5 houses, 6 houses. Found this house. Of course, I got excited. I said, what do you think? He goes, you know what? I said, yeah. I said, you buy it. Let's do it. Buy it. So wrote check. Actually, I got that my first deal. My bank gave me the money, which it's unbelievable. Yeah, I went. I said, I want to buy this house for $70K, and they were like, okay. And they gave me a loan for all $70K. And I told them, I said, and I'll take cash, which I borrowed from my mom as a private lender, borrowed like $10,000 from her, $20,000 from her. And they were fine with, I told them I was going to give them my scope of work. And they were fine with me doing it as long as I did the remodel, which is crazy because you use it backwards. Right?
Yeah.
But they went ahead, and took us about 4 months to flip that one. And we made about over 40K. It was like 45K.
So he got his pay. And then you made $40,000.
Yep, his was like $20,000. So I paid him like $20,000 to do the remodel.
Yeah. And then you made 40-ish.
And then, yeah, we made about, and me and my mom kind of split that one.
Wow. That's super cool.
She kind of,
so she made out great. If she put in 20 and made 20,
yeah,
doubled her money in 4 months.
Yeah. And she was work with me every weekend. And like I said, she's 60, 65
at that time.
Coming, drive an hour every weekend to go help us remodel this home.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And finally I was like, okay.
When parents believe in their kids,
yeah, that was the coolest part. Like mom was like, I remember talking to her. I'm like, Mom, should we do it? And she's just like, oh, she was kind of nervous. And I said, Mom, here's the deal. I don't know if this is going to work. I have no idea if this is going to work. So how about this? I'll take this one. Like I'm going to still buy it, and I don't want to risk you.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea if I'm going to fail at this. Cause I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, honey, no. And she starts crying. And she's like on the phone, she's like, I believe you. I believe in you. And she's like, if you're going to go down, I'm going down with you.
Oh,
yeah. That's what she told me. She's like, I'm in. And she had already, she was like, yeah, I'll give you the I think it was like $20,000 and to do the remodel stuff. But she was like, yeah, I'm with you. I'll take ownership of all of it. So like 70,000, like she was going to go down with me with all of it. And so, and after that, I'm like, this is going to be fine.
Yeah.
We're going to win. So about 4 months and we flipped it and made 45 and to back up the December 7th, 2016 is when we closed on the house. December, I think it was like the 15th is when I found out my 8-year-old now, but my 3-year-old at the time found out he was deaf.
Deaf,
right?
Yeah.
So that was December 15th. December 26th, okay, a day after Christmas, got a call from the boss, says, we want to meet you. Why we never meet, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Tuesday. We meet you at the office, which is like an hour drive. I'm like, oh geez. And I told my wife, I said, I'm either going to get a raise or I'm getting fired.
Yeah.
And that was on December 26th, 27th.
It's one or the other.
December 28th, I called, found out I got fired. December 28th, actually I was on my way back from getting fired. I had an hour drive. And I remember calling Kurt. It's like, Kurt, what are you doing, man? He's like, I just finished up on a few things. I'm like, what do you got going on tomorrow? I said, that house I bought, December 7th. Like, it's been a couple of weeks, man. I said, you ready to work on that thing? He's like, yep. Actually, yeah, I was going to call you. The next day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the next day he shows up and there's other stuff to the story. Which I don't want, I'm not going to reveal, but it was awesome timing on Kurt's part. Anyways, we're there. December 28th, 2016.
Yeah,
27,000 in restaurant business, 28,000 contractor. And I was like, no job. Like, son's just found out he's deaf, which is going to take a lot of medical and money for that.
Yeah.
I have another mortgage. So I have 2 mortgages.
Yeah.
Don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. I've read some, books and some podcasts. That's it. That's it. And this wasn't Fortune Builder yet. I hadn't gone through that. This was in 2008, 2017.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, dude, I just jumped and, worked out.
That's amazing.
But yeah. And then,
we met in 2018 or 2000. When did we meet? In 2018.
So yeah, man. So what was that? It was.
That'd have been late 2018, I think. If your first
one. Yeah. Because 2000. So 2016. So 2017, we flipped the house over in Altoona. We bought a house in Dallas Center. Took it 6 more months. Finished that in February of 2018. Signed our lease. Because we worked on 2 houses.
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah.
Just basically 1 year, right?
Yeah.
It took us 2 years or 1 year to finish 2 houses.
2 houses, yeah.
So that 2018 was February when we locked in that lease. And then about that was when we bought a couple more, the house, and that's when we met you.
Yeah.
So we bought a house on Morton, house on 30th Street.
Mm-hmm.
We bought 2 of those houses like within like 45 days.
Yeah.
And the flip and the things were hopping at that point.
Yeah.
We started getting, some confidence.
Yeah.
And then that's when we thankfully my brother. Can you talk to this Ethan guy?
Yeah, that was good. Did you tell Jason about
So-
the 57 Plex?
Oh, not yet. No, I figured I'd let you do that. To be honest.
I need to swing in and see him.
Yeah,
Jason's such good stuff, man.
Yeah, you'll have to. Yeah, I thought I'd give you
the pleasure of doing
pleasure
that. It's a big one. Yeah.
I haven't. I don't say much, and when you're involved with what we do. So
Me and him don't talk as much as we used to, but I told you I swung by one time and I tried to give him I think it was like $1,500 cash.
Yeah. Like,
all blue bills.
Yeah.
He said no. He was like, go take a vacation with your son or just go put it. He just wouldn't take it. And I was like, all right, man.
He's like,
I've been thinking about that moment for a while too, just like paying it back forward to someone who really took some time before I had any of it figured out.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, we're kind of rolling with what I've been doing, but so yeah, tell me about tell us kind of. I mean, there's in your what you celebrate 32, right?
Yeah, I just turned 30.
Just turned 30.
Yeah.
Sucker.
So was in college. I wrestled in college. I initially wanted to wrestle in the Air Force. Family had traveled and just wanted to create that same lifestyle for my family. Got hurt. Labrum got tore, got surgery, dropped out of college, went back to Europe, spent all my money, and kind of came back to the States. And one day my dad called me. It was like late at night. I was in my car and he was like, what are you going to do with your life now? I was working at like Journeys in the mall. And I was like, I don't know. And shortly after we got out of the call, the Fortune Builders ad came over the radio about call right now and you can get free tickets to a real estate seminar.
Dude,
man.
What year is that?
This is when I'm like 20. I'm 20.
Wow.
Yeah, not even 21 yet. 20. Do the same process, buy the weekend one. Me and my buddy went. I got a buddy to go with me. And we ended up getting the student package, which was $9,000. So we split that. And from 20 to 23, I really just buckled down and studied real estate, saved up money. 23, bought my first house with my parents. We both put up $15K, house hacked it, where I, lived in one side, rented out the rooms. And then, 10 months later, came across a duplex. Now, at that time, I'd been studying real estate for like 3 or 4 years. So I was like, this is a deal.
This is the names, right?
What?
The
duplex was the names, yeah. I was like, this is a deal. And they were like, I was like, let's get this one. They're like, absolutely not. We haven't even made any money on the first one because I was living in it. So I was just like we're just breaking even, but we weren't making any money. I was the only one that was benefiting because I was
living for free.
I was living for free.
You're like, this is great.
This is great. So they're like, absolutely not. So I did an owner-occupied loan and I only had to put like $8,000 down. It was $184,000. Bought it, then rented out the whole single family house. Now we were cash flowing. Moved in one side, rented out a room, and then rented out the whole other unit. And that's when I was like, oh, it's like multi-family. It's multiple doors. Like that's how you get the margins.
So this is how it works.
Yeah, and that was 24-ish, 25, and so ramped up. I think I must have met you probably about a year. Yeah, if we said 2018. So the duplex was 2017. So my first flip was 2018, which is around the time where Jason, his older brother, cut me off because he was my mortgage broker for the first 3 houses. By the time I was ready for the 4th, he was like, I can't lend you anymore. I was like, what do you mean, bro? It's like all this time to make a relationship with you? You're gonna tell me no? So yeah, that was the come up. And now we have that 57 plex, which has been whole wave of emotions and
Yeah.
stuff with all this, but it's been a ride for sure. I'm glad that I know people that have been like able to see it as it's happened, because you look back sometimes and you can just like you just hope that people know like what the behind the scenes looks like, because it looks so crazy from the outside, and then there's just some people that are like, no, I know what it really looks like too, and that's nice.
Yeah, for sure. Being in the trenches together,
Yeah,
seeing we could sit here and go, oh yeah, we got 27 and or 20, whatever, 27. You got how many, like 30? What do you got outside the 57?
35 outside the 57 is 35 units.
I mean, people, you could throw down these numbers, and and some people might say, oh, you're lucky, or you're or whatever that people might be thinking, or they just don't realize, I don't think, how how difficult. It's interesting, because I think people, it's one of those things where it's difficult, but once you accomplish it, it's better than maybe what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
And I think, and we're still babies in this industry, compared to a lot of people.
Oh, for sure.
Like, oh my gosh, how do they do it? But it's kind of fun to reflect and just see, like, man, and when you meet other people, other investors, you're like, hats off, man. Like, you just know
what it took.
Like, everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own story, but at the end of the day, everything kind of, everyone kind of goes through, similar stuff, to just get to that point, and a lot of it's typically lack of funds, lack of education, lack of
depression,
being depressed, lack of, don't have a car.
Yeah.
There's just
crazy stories. Drug addiction. Like, I've known some crazy stories that just so motivating. And it almost makes you reflect, like, man, if that's what they did in their circumstances, like, and here I am, thinking what I went through was difficult. It's like,
right.
And what's nice is, like, it is difficult, it is hard, but what I try to stay with some of my content is, like, I really don't think that, maybe the way I've been able to callous my brain has been a little bit special, but I don't think I'm special. I really do believe that what I do, or what we do, like, anybody can do it. If you can train your mind to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's the biggest part right there.
Well, I think everyone has their these things in their head that media or society or just kind of constantly tells you you're not fast enough, you're not good enough, you're not good looking enough, you're not there's 100 different things of reasons why people choose to maybe not want to push in and succeed. And I think like I said, I think the key is having that support system, just having those people around you saying, dude, you can do this, and just knowing that I can do this, and I will do this, and it definitely helps to have that support around you to be able to get you through those tough times, because I think there is a lot of unknowns, just like any industry. But a lot of this, though, you just kind of have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of have to figure it out by doing.
Yeah. Which is so scary,
which
too.
Which is just like,
because then you're in, and it's like, what do you mean I can only learn while I'm doing it? Like, then I'm committed. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just like, well, I'll give you the latest one. We bought this beautiful 1880 home.
Oh, your family's old place, right?
My grandparents' house, and 1880 home, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, actually 2.5 bath. And, awesome little place. My grandparents lived there for 61 years. They moved into a nursing care facility and house set for like 2 years, empty and stuff. And family's trying to figure it out. So we put it on the market to list it for sale. After about 2 weeks, family came to me and my wife, said, we want you to buy this. Would you be open to buying it, flipping it? And we're like, okay, so we let's do this. It's a really cool house. But we got in this house. I was thinking maybe $90,000,
dollar rehab.
Yeah, $90,000 to rehab it. And But here's the problem. Here's the problem. And so is when you have a family, like a family property like this, you tend to emotionally get involved.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
There's an emotion part of it. It's not always business.
Yeah.
And I think that's a tip that if you're going to buy something that there's an emotional attachment to it,
yeah.
you got to be careful because, you know, it can easily go sideways on you in terms of the cost of doing the rehab. And so, you know, we bought this house thinking $90,000, but when we got into it, you know, you want to bring this old home back to its
life.
Glory, man.
Yeah.
It's just the hardwood floors and,
yeah.
you know, if you make this part of the house awesome and then everything else just looks kind of like even makes it more worse, you know, makes it look worse. And it's like, and then we have this thing where if we're going to do it right, let's do it, you know,
Yeah.
like I
100%.
don't cut corners. We, you know, we like to make sure things are done right. So $18,000 in plumbing later, you know, $16,000 in electrical bill, and $13,000 for overlay and sheetrock, you know, because we were just gonna fix some of the things, and we're like, you know what, we're just gonna redo most of the sheetrock.
Yeah.
So long story short, you know, I haven't quite got the final
number
tally, but
what are you thinking it's gonna be?
I'm like, it's gonna be probably close to 140.
Oh, wow.
I think I'm at 130 right now. And there's a tip. You need to know your numbers, right? So
you're way off.
Oh, I'm way off. And we flipped 7 houses.
Yeah.
It was, you know, 8 houses before this, and we've been good.
Yeah.
You know, our numbers been good, but we've never flipped an 1880s beautiful, awesome home was my grandparents. We've never done that one. And so learning, you know, we're just learning so now we're sitting there going, you know, we're 50, 60,000, you know, over budget, right?
Yeah.
And so you never stop learning, and you're always trying to figure things out. And I think that's real estate right there. Right?
It is just getting in it.
But here's the thing: you gotta have a backup plan, right? You know, plan B, plan C, plan D, and plan E, right? You have to have multiple
exit strategies,
plans, right? Exit strategies, and you know, we could always sell it and make money. You know, we can figure out the whole rent thing, which we're renting it right now.
You are renting it out?
Yeah,
You're not going to do the Airbnb or?
We wanted to stop the bleeding, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, we just like, geez, I got to get something in there because it's going to cost $10,000 to put, you know,
furniture
it, you know, put furniture in that sucker. So we're like,
you're making cash flow in it?
Yeah, we're making about $700-800 now cash flow in it.
Oh, a month.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we stopped the bleeding.
Did you refinance or something?
Not yet. So that's the thing. We have all this cash, cash in it. 100,000 plus of my own money in this property. Rates went up.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're like, and I got a really killer interest rate. And so now we're debating, do we cash
Run
out,
on the calculator, man.
see what we need to do, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now. So we're just kind of waiting to see, obviously wait till we're finished doing the remodel and then
so you have a family in there that's paying enough to make $700 or $800 cash flow, and the house isn't finished being remodeled yet.
But here was the stipulation was, we'll rent to you. The family needed the house.
Yeah.
Okay? They were building and they weren't going to be done building for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a thing where I'm like, we'll put you guys in here, but we have full access. Like
we need access.
We need to finish
this project.
and they were fine with it. They're like thankful that we provide a roof for them and their family. And they have 3 twin boys, you know, and they have a daughter and
three
teenage, they're 15,
twin boys,
3 15-year-old boys.
Cool. So triplets.
Triplets.
Yeah. Not 3 twins. You do triplets.
Good point. Yeah, good point. There's 3 of them.
I was like, what do you mean 3? Like 6
children?
Kids?
No, you're right. There's 3 kids that are
15
part
triplets.
Of being part of triplets.
Got it.
You know what I mean? There's 3 of
them.
All
right. Well, I didn't know what you mean. That's why we took a minute to clarify.
Yeah, appreciate that. So there's 3 of them and the family, and they're like, yeah, you can be in here and
whenever.
So we're finishing up. Yeah,
that's cool. That's super cool.
Super cool about it. And So yeah, man. So I think in real estate, you just kind of have to, now I know.
Yeah.
And the backup plan is if we need to sell, we can sell. We need to refinance, get our cash out, we can. So there's always, that's what's cool about real estate.
Yeah.
If
you can make it what you want.
Your back could be against the corner and you're just like, I think there's always avenues.
Yes.
That you can kind of zig and zag and, kind of, as long as you have that desire and being able to take that risk, and just understand that there's a level of, sometimes you have to jump and you don't know
what exactly
is going to happen.
Yeah.
You just have to jump.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool. And I think you've done I think if anybody's taught me more to do that, you. I mean, you've inspired me to, at a young age, to be educated, but also a lot of it takes a level of faith to just be like, you know what, I think this is going to plan out, and here's the thing: if it doesn't pan out, we will work hard enough
to figure it out,
to fix it,
to
make it so it's not going to destroy our family, destroy what we've already accomplished. And I think that's key. You've got to, there's that tolerance, to risk, but you can't risk it all. You risk it, knowing that if you do have an oops, and then you can regroup and then
move forward. Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully that the more knowledge you get, the more education you get,
easier it becomes.
Yeah, the more easier it becomes, and the more you're willing to buy that 57, which we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah,
really. I mean, we're figuring that out too. But.
And you even said in the beginning, like it made you uncomfortable. It was. Oh. Yeah, but now.
It's still uncomfortable.
But with the property manager, you said a lot of that's eased out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot of people probably don't know that. So how long ago was that?
It was like 2 to 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. So, yeah.
Yeah, so. Maybe share with the crew here.
Yeah, it's been so we got a 57 plex. It's in our hometown. So where we own quite a few of our other properties. 2.4 million. We had to do a debt service coverage ratio loan, so we had to put 25% down. With 600,000, and then we had about 100K in rehab. Did a seller carryback, so I got some of the seller to give me some of the down payment, and then we used equity out of our other properties to cover the down payment. So we didn't actually have to come out with any cash, which was perfect because probably about 6 to 8 months ago, I got Dustin, Kurt, Shannon, which is my contractor, my dad, and me. We all met at a restaurant, and I started.
What was it, IHOP?
IHOP, something like that. Yeah. I convinced them that we were going to syndicate a deal, or we were going to put together this team that would take equity off top of deals when I would find them off market, and we'd go find money. And I knew it was a matter of time until that would happen. But the sooner you start watering that, planting that seed and watering it and having that conversation, the easier it is when it finally happens. And I've known that for my entire career. I've been really good at planning that. Even with him before it happened, it was like, I'm going to do a deal with you. He's like, probably not. Here we are. So
let's speak it.
Yeah.
Speak it in existence. It's awesome.
But yeah, we closed, and sadly, before we closed, the situation with my littlest sister happened, and that really impacted my family's ability to kind of deal with the closing. But thank gosh we had the team that we did. Derek's involved in that as well, my partner from Seattle. So all four of them took over the entire behind-the-scenes process as we stepped out and tried to figure out whatever has been going on, and that has been a huge blessing. So I feel bad because he's been stressed, but knowing he's on my team, I didn't have stress about it because I was like, it'll be fine. Yeah. So, which is why I brought him on. Like I needed that, yin and yang, and to be grounded. And Dustin's, we're both very analytical and logistical thinkers. I'm just a bit more aggressive. So I was way more worried about it before all this stuff happened, and afterwards I was like, no, we'll figure it out regardless. So that's been a huge blessing.
Yeah, so we're in that transition period, which is awesome. We took ownership of this 57-plex. Cool thing is we after analyzing and figuring things out, we decided that the best thing right now would be to get a property manager in there, and we met up with this guy and his team. They manage like 75 properties or 75 units, but they have contracts with over 1,000 units with the maintenance, which is awesome.
Wild.
So this company has basically two divisions, has a maintenance division and also a property management division. So we've been blessed to have Rob and his team helping us with that. And so right now we're in the transition of getting the first rents
through all that.
Trying to get everything, all the software, programs lined up, and just little things, just taking over this kind of a building, just the little things that, just a lot to do. But by August, we'll be in good shape.
Be rocking and rolling.
We'll be in good shape. Got some units that need to be redone, but for the most part, I think I talked to Rob yesterday. He said, they're going to start really marketing them, and so hopefully by the end of the week we'll have.
Has Shannon or Kurt started working on them yet?
They've
just been organizing.
They spent a couple days
organizing,
basically tearing apart all the storage units that are in the building, and closets that are in, and buying a bunch of containers,
to organize stuff. That's super cool.
So cool. So being organized is key. But they got all their stuff, that part done. Right now they're just kind of, I know Shannon's finishing up on the firehouse and other stuff you guys got going on, and Kurt's kind of finishing up on things too, because we still have 6 units that are vacant. Pretty much ready to go. So really,
and that's $600 a pop. I mean, that's
we need
$4,000 a month in income we're not getting.
We need to fill the vacancies need to be taken care of. So the good news is we have probably 6 of the 9 that are vacant. 6 of them hardly need very little work. The other 3 need some work, but our goal is to get those 6 filled as quick as we can, and then probably in a week or 2, I bet Shannon and Kurt will go back up there and work on those other 2. Spend some time there. But right now they're just finishing up other projects, since we have 6 that can be promoted. So it's fun, man. Like,
it is.
It's doubling your units counts. It's like
over.
So it's like, hey, but that's how you stretch. You just get
real quick.
You get ready to roll. You're ready for that next thing.
So do you think that having partnerships has been a really good beneficial to helping you scale?
Oh, absolutely. I think. We've talked about it multiple times. Like, everyone brings a different talent or different skill. In real estate, there's so many things you have to be good at. So many things you have to be good at. From just finding deals, and that's a whole nother.
There's a whole sector in itself.
The financial part, that's a whole sector.
Negotiating.
The negotiation part, just the operations of just running the business, and property management, or just contractors and dealing with contractors, and figuring out all those people that you need for that, to just the QuickBooks or the accounting part of it, to your QuickBooks, to your CPA. The list goes on and on and on of, when you're running a viable business like this, holy buckets, like, it comes to light. Like, you need a lot of different, you can't, if you're good at all that, God bless you, but most people aren't. So
you're normally pretty hesitant with your partnerships, right?
I think you have to, partnerships, I think you have to be really, really good at interviewing and really understanding the person you're going to be in business with. It's like a marriage. You have to, there's a lot of, during a marriage, there's obviously very good times, things that you can celebrate and have fun with, and it's always, it can be very happy times. And then there's
bad times, terrible times,
and things that you struggle with. And I think, during these things, these trials and tribulations and things that you deal with as a human, if you will, and then you interact with the business part of it, involved money. you have to have a really, really good understanding of who you're working with, and really, really understand. Not only do you have to understand it, but then your spouse. If you're married, your spouse has to buy in
To the partnership.
To that partnership. Oh yeah, for sure. And if you don't have that spouse,
so your wife kind of likes me.
Well, you blowing on her.
Do you have a checklist, or like, is it more of a feeling thing? I mean, our answers are definitely going to be different on this, but like, how do you?
I think
is it a heart? Like I said, is it more of a feeling, or is it like a checklist of this is what they're doing and this is what they've accomplished? Or
I think it's. I don't, there's not really a checklist that that we follow for partnerships. It's a lot of it's fruit on the tree. It's like, okay, who are these people? What have they done? Where do they want to see their future? What kind of person are they? Do they have integrity? And can you trust these people? Do they have character? Do they, when things are going good, how are they acting? When things are going bad, how are they acting? I think it encompasses a lot of different things that I think is really, really important that you take a look at. And the only way you really do that is, you interact, you're involved with them,
mm-hmm.
you meet their families, you just become friends with them. You got to become a friend with them. And then I think at that point, once you establish that maybe we should move forward, then I think at that point, then there just has to be a huge understanding, that
what that looks like,
and like, put everything on the table and be like, dudes, like, this is the reality of
mm-hmm.
the partnership. Because I have a buddy that has 23 duplexes, 24 duplexes.
He owns them all by himself, right?
Yeah. We went golf with him,
yeah.
Right? And I've brought different deals to him. I've shown him different things, in terms of other, multi-unit, multi-unit properties, single family. I've commercial. I've showed this guy a lot.
Yeah.
Storage units.
Yeah.
You name it. And he always goes back
to the duplexes by himself.
And he just has a process that he's comfortable with, that works for him, and that's just what he does.
So was Kurt your first equity partner?
Yeah.
And how did Allison feel about him?
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, we went, all of 2016, looking at houses.
Yeah.
Then 2017, we flipped 2 houses, which he did the work on. So now we're in the 2018, which we just paid him hourly rate.
Yeah.
$40 an hour, whatever.
Yeah.
Then 2018 came along, and then we flipped 2 more properties, and on the second property, the property over in Mitchellville, we're almost finished with it. And that's when I realized, when you got good people that are genuine, all these things we just talked about,
yeah,
right?
Keep them.
You got to find a way to figure out how to
keep them. Yeah.
And, because they're hard to find. And when you find them, you don't let go.
So was she on board then with him at that time too?
Yeah. I think at that point, he built the trust. And
all right, what about me with Allison? What did she think when I came along?
Year 2, right?
3, like 3 or 4, I feel like.
Yeah. So, it's hugely important because, like I said, that, to me, my wife and my kids, that's the number one,
huge,
right?
Yeah.
My wife's number one partner, business partner. Sorry. But wife's number 1, kids are number 2, and then my business partners are number 3.
Yeah.
God first, right?
Yeah.
God, my wife, my kids, my business partners. And, I really believe that that's the, how we should do it. And, and I think if, like I said, if you get the lineage figured out, and because, and plus, that spouse or whatever, and that's the second eyes, plus it's your money, it's your time, it's her money, her time.
Yeah.
It's, she's writing a note that's guaranteeing $2.4 million on the thing, and she's writing her little piece of, signature on a piece of paper. you know, she's in it.
She's in it too.
You know, she there. I mean, in fact,
out.
there's probably she has to be more on board than I do, truly, because you know I'm dealing with dealing with these partners.
Yeah.
We're working together almost daily.
Yeah.
Where she just gets bits and pieces.
Pieces of it, yeah.
So, you know, for a wife, you know, it takes a little bit longer, and I think
she's a good one.
but, oh gosh, yeah, it's you gotta have, yeah, like I said, and I think it goes back to that. You gotta protect that that group, right?
That group,
those people around you, that team, and once you have a good one, you don't let go. You know, you go like you work your butt off to keep those relationships good, find deals, do business deals that are good, that are righteous for everybody, not just, you know, personally for you for a benefit. I mean, I think if anybody's taught me the power of a team, it's you. Like I was very, I mean, we've talked about this, like other partnerships, like I struggle with, and I've had many opportunities, but it has to be really right. And,
I appreciate that. And
you have taught me, and I've seen you partner like with Derek, and now of course we're working with Derek, but you know, we've seen you do this. You know, you work with Ashley in Kansas City and
Hakeem back in the day.
Hakeem, you know, and there's some things that happen there, but
all learning, like it ended up positive, you know, like
and I was
avoid, which as you should have been, and that deal specifically, like broke me in a way that was like, well, I still figured it out,
right.
And if I can figure that out, like, I can really do some damage here,
which is good and bad, right? And then the next thing
that was just the start. Yeah, that was. I mean, that's what ramped everything up. Is as soon as that one got lifted off. So,
I mean, so here you are, buddy. I mean, let's just talk about that. I mean, started when you're 20-ish. You're 30 now. 80s.
92.
92.
Units,
doors. Right?
Doors, 92 doors. 96 by the end of the month for the 4th leg.
96, that's Kansas City.
Yeah. First out of state deal.
that one's bodacious. Yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah.
I was like a
seller financing. Yeah, seller financing on that too.
Yeah, that's a good one there. So I mean, what's your vision? What do you think? You know, what do you think? I mean, we're 2022. What's your goals? What do you want to be known for? And
well, I've had that goal of retiring my mom. I don't know if this 57 plex is 100% going to do it, but she's definitely been able to cut down a significant amount of time that she's cleaning. So that's a blessing. Or I'm going to cool down. I'm going to chill out for a little bit. We've ramped up very hard. I'll probably do some wholesaling. Going to take some time to do some content and kind of figure out what my own goals are for me and my son. Yeah. I've got a trip coming up to Thailand in August that I'm going to do to disappear for a bit and deal with everything that's happened. Honestly, just with this episode of just talking about the team, it's just when I get it all figured out, it's just coming back and making things right with my team and building this empire that I've kind of always envisioned from the get-go. And now just knowing I'm going to chill out because I have to, but like now knowing that this strategy is like repeatable and it is actually possible and it worked out, you know, very similar to the way I thought is going to be dangerous when I'm ready to like go after it again. So
well, I think it's, you know, we talked about this. I think a lot of people when you're watching should, you know, you might be ramping up, right? Like we talked about, and go from 0 to 80, 90, and you know, you can get caught up in it quickly,
really quickly,
and just be like push, and we talk about it's like, you know what? Not that buying the 57 unit and all that stuff was easy, because it's not easy, but there's people out there loaning money. There's lenders that will work with you. I mean, if you are crazy enough, I mean, you can sell the idea. I think.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
You can work your connections and you can, put together a pretty cool portfolio. And I think that's great. I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you can do this. However, it's not just taking on this and buying these properties or buying these units. That's not the hard part. The hard part,
I know what this next line is.
Is
keeping it. Yeah, I
it's
remember when you said that.
It's not
yeah.
Acquiring
That's
is
difficult.
A skill set. It's difficult. It's you got to have your place things. But the keeping it
and managing
is a long-term
it,
goal, right? It's a long-term play. And if you don't keep it, then all this other stuff you did doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And so it could get to a point where you can get so far going, and we talked about this, like you can get so far into this and so, almost like not only it's not really ego, but it's like
consumed,
and especially with more like influencers like yourself, like you can get caught up in the likes and the comments and
100%.
And it pushes you to do a deal just to do a deal to appease somebody else.
Yeah,
right.
It's not even in your criteria.
And it's like, what do you like? I mean, I've thought of it. I mean, I've been in a position where I was like, oh, I should buy that. I'm like, why? Like, why am I buying this? What's the reason behind it? But you can get so far. And a lot of this real estate, it takes 6 months, 8 months. It takes a little while to let the smoke clear to see what do I have?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I at?
Yeah, where am I? Right? What is my actual financials?
Like, we took on a city simplex, and I say August is, which is July 7th now, but it's really going to be September, October until we really, really get a good
understanding of what's going on.
Going on, right? And so it's like, it's crazy to think, it's crazy to think that you can get so caught up in this, and so I'm happy to hear that.
I'm cooling down. I'm literally leaving the country to ensure.
Perfect. Don't buy anything. Yeah, because I think we all get caught up in it, and I think but man, if you can just take these 90 units or these 80 units or whatever it is, or whatever you're out there and make what you have
of that portfolio and make it
efficient.
Yeah.
And know your numbers and make sure the sucker's profitable. I think a lot of investors have no idea if they're even making money. Yeah. They think that, I got 50 doors or I got 150 doors. Like, okay, how about we talk about profit?
Yeah, profit.
Like, how much
equity,
money?
Yeah.
And then, my accountant says, because I was, I'm trying to get all these numbers to him, and, we're working with him, got a bookkeeper, and, I'm like, dude, like, I need numbers. And he said to me, he's like, I'm like, I want to know how I'm doing. Like, he's like, Dustin, we'll get you the numbers, but the best way you know how you're doing is check your bank account.
Yeah.
How's the checking account looking?
Then goes,
do you have money in your checking account? You're right. And he's like, it's simple, but financially, I mean, are you paying your bills?
Yeah.
Do you have money? Because that will tell you right away if you're struggling, you're not doing good. If your bank account's low, you need to make some adjustments. So I'm like, check. So we gotta make sure that we're profitable.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting next month. Well,
awesome.
This is a great back and forth. I'm glad that you and me got the chance to tell our story. I'm sure our next guest will have an amazing story as well. But it's been a wild month. So thanks for giving me some time to get back to my stuff, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody on the next episode. So please tune in, and we're gonna be dropping some gems. So we'll see you then. Woo!